Air quality in Delhi is in the severe zone. Schools are shut, flights disrupted, and citizens have been told to stay indoors. But Delhi is not the first city to face toxic air. Mexico City, London, and Singapore, once ranked among the most polluted cities in the world, today they are global benchmark for clean air. What did they do right, and why has Delhi failed? Throughout the 1980s and 90s, Mexico City was notorious for toxic air. Then it enforced vehicle emission standards, phased out leaded petrol, expanded public transport, and launched the famous car rationing program that restricted vehicle use. It created independent pollution monitoring, empowered regulators, and made clean air a non-negotiable political priority, regardless who was in power. London's transformation came after the Great Smog Crisis of 1952, which killed over 4,000 people in days. It followed a radical response: Clean Air Acts, coal bans, congestion charges, ultra-low emission zones, and penalties that actually hurt. Rapid industrialization led to severe air pollution crisis in Singapore, but today it is known for a combination of advanced infrastructure, great technology, green cover, and pure air. Its success lies in discipline. Vehicle ownership capped, polluters face swift penalties, construction dust, industrial emissions, even vehicles' age are tightly regulated. Relocation of pollutive industries and installation of modern sewage system are all part of it. This built Singapore into a case study for successful curbs on air pollution. Now compare this with Delhi, where authorities and governments have had plans but no execution. Even that factors that contribute to air pollution like stubble burning end up becoming a topic of political blame game. Take Delhi Environment Minister's latest dramatic statement. He has apologized helplessly to the people of Delhi NCR for the air pollution, saying that the crisis cannot be resolved in 9 to 10 months. And then he has also blamed Kejriwal and previous AAP governments for problem. How long can the blame game continue when every minute NCR is paying the price for the lack of political will?
मुझे बहुत खेद के साथ आज कहना पड़ रहा है, आम आदमी पार्टी जो 10 साल की बर्बादी जिनकी हम झेल रहे हैं, जिनका हर दिन पोल्यूशन आज के साल के मुकाबले ज्यादा रहता रहा, जो मैंने अभी भी आंकड़े बताए कि अगले हफ्ते क्या होने वाला है, ये पिछले आंकड़ों से देखकर बताया। हमारे समय पे ऐसा नहीं हो, इसके लिए हम यत्नशील हैं, लेकिन वो जानबूझकर पोल्यूशन को बढ़ाने के लिए जगह जगह आग लगा रहे हैं, कूड़ा जला रहे हैं। वो रोज प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं कि किस तरीके की बढ़ जाए। वो दिल्ली के लोगों की चिंता नहीं कर रहे। इतनी गंदी राजनीति में नहीं जाना चाहिए। मैं आम आदमी पार्टी के सभी लोगों से हाथ जोड़कर विनती करता हूं, मत ऐसा कीजिए। मैं हाथ जोड़कर अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से आग्रह करता हूं, केजरीवाल जी, इतना कुछ दिया है दिल्ली ने आपको, 10 साल आपने दिल्ली की सत्ता को दिल्ली के लोगों के कारण यहां पर रही है, आज आप ऐसे काम कर रहे हैं।
I'm joined by Vimlendu Jha, environmentalist. Vimlendu, let's have a complete straight talk, you and me. Do you think that the fact that we have not been able to clean Delhi is because of the lack of political will? Because if you want to clean Delhi, you have to stop certain economic activities, from bakeries to construction to small units, maybe MSMEs, and no government, no political party wants to do that, because ultimately it will boil down to vote, and people will not be able to, or the political parties will not be able to pay the price of the tough action. It is even for this reason that the scrapping policy saw a lot of dilly-dallying.
Absolutely. So I think, a lot of times we say that air pollution is a complex issue and actually needs complex set of solutions. My assessment and reality, as if you look at all around the world, if they were able to, the story that you actually shared in terms of be it Mexico, Beijing, Singapore or London, they've been able to solve it, not by actually making it some rocket science. There are simple solutions, and the fundamental thing is to accept that there's a problem, and that acceptance and making air pollution solution or solving the air pollution crisis non-negotiable, irrespective of which political party came to power, or which regime came to power, whether it was Labour or right or left or center, and that is what is the key to actual solving of the crisis. We've seen that in London, we've actually seen it in other places as well. And right now in India, I think it's a non-partisan issue, bipartisan issue, and if we actually want to solve it, there are low-hanging solutions. There are solutions which are actually integrated, not just in terms of specially doing only air pollution mitigation, but the interministerial or the cross-cutting issues that we're talking about. So the Ministry of Agriculture anyway has a mandate to work on issues of agriculture and therefore stubble burning. Ministry of Road Transport anyway has a mandate to really look at how do you expand your or not so expand your road network and the vehicles and so on and so forth. And similarly, energy. So if you look at right now the pollution inventory that we have of our country and more so of Delhi NCR, when we know that 40% to 50% pollution is because of vehicles and coal thermal power plants, those are doables. You can easily do it. I'm not saying overnight, but if you get on it, I'm very, very sure by 2026, at least 30 to 40% of India's AQI will improve.
Is it also a reason, and let's be very brutally honest with each other, let's talk about small things first. Do you think that Delhi has evolved into an unwalkable city?
It actually is. We have normalized 800, 400. You know, the day before, yesterday I was doing a program with one of the members of Central Pollution Control Board, and he said that, you know, look, our air quality in the month of May was very good. It was 200. So imagine something called very poor is very good for the government, and we think that 200, if your air quality improves to 200, it's actually very good. As in, for heaven's sake, that's, you know, you were actually making mockery out of the global world health organization standards of air quality. And reality is that, you know, right now, if the government's air quality monitors are telling you 400, private air quality monitors are telling you 600, 650 and 800, then indeed you're actually walking in a gas chamber. You're actually walking as if there's some biological warfare going on, because the high concentration of ozone, nitrogen and sulfur largely, and of course, you know, we're talking about PM10 dust, as in a lot of unfortunately, a lot of visible focus is only on dust. But the main crisis and the long-term crisis and impact, both in terms of health and well-being and mortality, is from these smaller particulate matters.
Are we looking at the precipice? You know, the reason why, I know it's very old, but I have chosen to show that black and white photograph of the London smog. People died in that smog. If I'm not wrong, even Churchill was alive at that point of time, you know. People died, but things turned for the people there. They took hard decisions. Are we looking at some sort of an apocalypse here for everyone to realize that, you know, things really need to change? Smog is eating into life expectancy.
See, London got triggered into acting when only 4,000 people died. And here we are sitting with 17 lakh people dying each year because of air pollution, as per Lancet's own report. In terms of our own doctors and others telling us how every other day, just that, you know, the death certificate doesn't write. So it's not as if we need to die. It's not as if we don't die. We are dying, just that we're not counting them and not attributing those deaths to air pollution. And I don't think there should be anything more pressing than this, Karthikeya, in terms of action. And I'm so disappointed by, imagine the Parliament today could have easily discussed it. Parliament today could have actually extended its session by a day to, at least to really understand what the crisis is and perhaps come up with a roadmap and work on it. Now, again, this winter is gone. Hope next year in 2026 we'll have a discussion on air pollution.
It's not as if in India we have not turned around things. If you recall, Surat is a turnaround city. Surat had case of
Delhi
plague.
Is a turnaround city also.
Surat
Delhi
had a case of plague and it turned around. Surat became a different city. So it's not as if cities, in India, people have not done a great job. Indians have done a great job. It's just that why are we failing in Delhi?
Not just Delhi, we are actually not prioritizing air pollution. And air pollution, forget about the stories of Mexico and other places. Of course, Supreme Court played a very,
I have to remind people, I have to remind them of something. Yesterday I thought of, I did Beijing. Today I'm doing Mexico City. People can pick holes. Delhi can't be compared with, Beijing, or you cannot compare with Mexico City. तो किससे करूँगा? किसी से तो करूँगा compare.
But Delhi को अगर आप दिल्ली से भी कंट्रोल करो ना, तो मैं यही बोल रहा हूँ कि मैं दिल्ली में 25 साल पहले जब रहता था, मैं तो अभी भी रहता हूँ. But
मैं भी यही रहता हूँ. नोएडा में रहता हूँ.
Correct. And by the way, I was in Noida yesterday. Noida is worse than Delhi. I do not know why. And now I'm in Gurgaon, and Noida and Gurgaon is as bad or perhaps worse than Delhi in that sense. But of course, we always headline Delhi in that sense. But what I'm telling you is that if you compare Delhi with Delhi, look at how polluted Delhi was. And when the CNG, revolution actually took place, yes, we were able to transform it. And of course, it happened because of the Supreme Court's intervention. And that time also, we felt that, oh, well, there's no relief. We will never be able to turn around. So, of course, course, we need to learn from the stories of Mexico and Beijing and Singapore and London, and in terms of structural systemic changes, and in terms of resource allocation, and in terms of data transparency that brought in, and the sense of non-partisan urgency that they brought in. But Delhi has its own story.
I personally think it's also because of the political economy. I feel that, as a journalist, our systems, our electoral systems are so badly tied with, certain industries that we do not have the will. For example, we do not have the will to reform the diesel automobile sector. We don't have the will. We don't have the will to reorganize certain economic activities which in short run will create a lot of pain electorally for the political party. We are not doing that actually.
We are not doing that, but we'll have to do that. That's what, as in imagine if we know that private vehicles and these polluting vehicles are the main cause of PM 2.5 in Delhi, when we know that these coal thermal power plants are supposed to be following the sulfur dioxide emission norms.
And it cuts both ways. You can't take action on the rich. Big diesel vehicles, gas guzzlers are being sold. They sell more than your sedans. And for years, you were not able to take action on the two-stroke motorcycles, because then how would the poor travel? How would the person from the lower middle class travel? Because you don't have a massive rapid transport system.
And that's the reason why simultaneously, look at Mexico, for example, and many other places. They did something called Metro Bus, where you integrate metro with buses, and then you look at and make it first mile, last mile, make it affordable, make it safe. And metro is a great example only for Delhi in that sense. Metro is phenomenal, and I use metro at least 90% times in that sense, but it cannot be restricted.
What's the biggest problem? I would love to use metro. I can't walk to my house. कोई पटरी नहीं है, मैं कहाँ चलूँगा?
That's why I'm saying the first mile and the last mile connectivity is extremely important. The frequency of it is very, very important, because people travel after 11 p.m. and metro is shut. And that's the reason why I'm talking about the integration of metro and bus both together and working on it.
Absolutely. Vimlendra, thank you for this very riveting and enriching conversation. This is all I had tonight. So this was our On Point 2, dedicated to the issue of toxic air, because we Indians are staring at a huge environmental crisis which owes to the lack of political will, that we have not been able to take hard decisions to tackle air pollution. So I will see you again on Monday at 7 p.m. Thank you and good night.
एसोसिएट स्पॉन्सर बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा से लोन लेना एक मास्टर स्ट्रोक है।
हर स्वाद में बसा, हर दाद में बसा, ये मेरा चीज है।
50 सालों से जो बना इस देश की शान, वो है अमूल चीज।
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया।
आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए।
लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे, अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए।
IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात। Okay, 2026, take notes. Manifesting. More bubbles, less troubles. For my little Miss Sunshine, tickles and giggles. Also want to be a biker chick this time. Allah, merci beaucoup. And dear 2026, only love for my people and myself. To manifest my best life, nature's cosmic energy. Now mine, natural diamond intention pendants.
मुफ्त दवा है और मुफ्त इलाज, सुविधा सबको, राहत है आज। माँ बच्चे का पूरा ध्यान हो, सभी निरामय आयुष्मान, घर घर नल जल है जीवन, सब लोग सुखी है घर आंगन। अब फसल सुनहरी लहराए, खुश हो किसान झूमे गाए, नव उत्थान नई पहचान, बढ़ता राजस्थान, हमारा राजस्थान।
डेली मुझे कॉन्स्टिपेशन की प्रॉब्लम होती है, मैं क्या करूं?
2 स्पून काफी है।
ये प्रॉब्लम दूर करने के लिए लायन डेट सिरप, इसमें आयरन, फाइबर्स, विटामिन, बीमारी से लड़ने की ताकत बहुत ज्यादा है। फाइबर, कॉन्स्टिपेशन से रोकथाम। रोजाना 2 स्पून लायन डेट सिरप हल्के गर्म दूध में भी मिलाकर पी सकते हैं। लायन डेट सिरप रोजाना 2 स्पून।
From boardrooms to bookshelves, from startups to storytelling, witness conversations that define tomorrow's economy. Our honorary speaker, R. Gopalakrishnan, from Hindustan Lever to Tata Sons, his journey defines corporate leadership. Eastern India's first